Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. It's been a minute. I know we've taken a little bit of a break, but we are back now. I'm going to do my best to knock out weekly episodes as we usually do. I just had to focus on a few bigger projects. Number one being our brand new app for our clients. I'm stoked. Like we've been, we get Google Sheets for a long time in the very beginning. I think from 2020 through maybe like 2024 or so. I think we used Google Sheets, which I will say it was solid. Like I completely just customized it to what we needed. Then we chose to move over to an app called Everfit, which is still fine, but I was like, hey, like it's still not doing what we needed to do, and that's why we built our brand new app. It's up now, and our clients have been using it, and they're loving it. And now we're adding more resources, updating our video trainings, and I'm just stoked for us to have our own platform. It just gives so much freedom, and that just speaks to like your journey as well, right? You want to have the freedom to like do it your way. You want to have the freedom to run things yourself. You want to have the freedom to rely on your own stuff, right? Now, this needs to be said too, right? It's something you build towards, okay? And I wanted to today kind of do a little bit of a recap, I guess, kind of like a catching up. There's no script or anything, or either way, don't script my episodes, but there's no outline. I want to do a bit of a recap on where we're currently at, a couple updates, and then I do want to talk about summer as well, because I think summertime is one of those where, maybe you go on vacation next week, or maybe in 2 weeks, or you would really like to start, but then in August you're going somewhere. You know what I mean? I think we want to talk on a few basics. I'll keep this short, 15, 20 minutes as well. But first things first, with our new app, I'm just stoked that we have everything in place now. Anything from lab reviews to symptom reviews and symptom assessments, kind of catching up on like the gut health side of things, because especially there, like we need to be able to check up on symptoms, over time. And, our app is just, it's the best. Like I've used a few different apps over the years, plus our own Google Sheets, of course, which even then we did like yearly updates to improve it. We just have our own platform. It's just actually, it's so good. And, I got to say this, with the help of AI, it's possible these days to really build your own thing. It's really cool. But of course, right, going back to you and where we're currently at. What we did as well, just so you know, we completely revamped and updated our website as well. So I would love for you to check that out. I'll make sure to drop the link in the show notes, because we've completely revamped and reworked our frameworks. And you might be familiar with the OCS process. And on the website still, you're still going to see links to the OCS process. And it's still really the long story short as to what we do with our clients, but it goes much deeper. Okay. And I've renamed it. Okay. We now have the restore method, and I'm going to take you through the restore method step by step, briefly, just so you fully understand what my client's journey looked like. But here's the thing, right? So the OCS process, we've always talked about, hey, we need to get you ready for the road ahead first. We're going to assess where you're at. We're going to fix the lifestyle, the habits, the routines. You need to be successful. Then we're going to go through that transformation, which for a lot of people is going to be fat loss. But then we're also going to work on the lifestyle piece, the maintaining of your results, making sure we stay successful. And then we, of course, continue to level up. And it's always been designed to be repeated for life. But I wanted to go deeper. As we're going more into functional, as we're going more into gut health and hormones, and as I'm getting more clients with Hashimoto's, PMOS, endometriosis, similar conditions, gut issues are very prevalent these days, okay? People just don't get the right testing. I have so many clients who were told you have IBS, but then there's no solution, right? And IBS, once again, this should be a different episode, but it's really just, hey, you have this group of symptoms, and we don't really know exactly what it is, so we're going to call it IBS, and then that's it. Look, like also with IBS, you can fix things, you know what I mean? You can improve your gut health. You can get rid of bloating. Those allergies you might have to normal foods, they kind of shouldn't be there. Now, there's a difference between true allergies and being sensitive to certain foods, okay? If it's a true allergy, like a peanut allergy, okay, like then I'm going to say, that's probably going to be one of those where you're going to avoid it for life. But in general, gluten, dairy, different types of nuts, different types of veggies and fruits, you should be able to have them again, okay? And one way to get to that point, the way, in my opinion, is our restore method. Okay, that's why I redesigned the whole thing. And it took me some time to like really rework our whole process. And that's where that new app comes in too. Because now I'm like, hey, we have this specific process. I need an app that does it all. I need an app that aligns with my method. Okay, so we can really take people through this journey. And that's where, of course, the new resources and all that come in. But speaking of resources, remember that on our website, there's free tools for you, okay? We're going to actually pull them up right now and just kind of recap for you, because obviously the podcast, you're listening right now, right? There's a video on the OTS process that I still think is very helpful for you to check, so you still get a general idea of what we do. I will be re-recording that video and speak more to the Restore method soon. But this podcast is the introduction for the Restore method. We have our gut repair blueprint, 10 question symptoms assessment, which now lives on the website itself. So you can literally pull it up. And as you answer these questions, you're going to see these different bars, okay, different priority sections for low stomach acid, gut dysbiosis, leaky gut, and then sluggish liver and bile. It's going to show you results instantly, exactly what main kind of like focus you should have if it's about gut health, okay? And then if you download the gut repair blueprint, you're going to get the steps to, work on improving things. We have our nutrition and lifestyle audit, okay, which is a full breakdown of your lifestyle, your habits, to where I can give you personalized feedback, coaching advice, and steps to follow on your own for the next 30 to 90 days. Basic stuff. And that's actually a really good one if you're listening to this and you're kind of like in that summer kind of, space. That's a good one to start with. We have the 5-minute meal plan, obviously our meal plan training, the protein cheat sheet, which will be updated very soon. Not over the next few weeks, but we're going to have a revamped protein cheat sheet. It ranked number 1 on Google for years and years and years, I think 5 years or so. Still very solid. So you can grab the old version, but just so you know, we are expanding on it. Bit of a cleaner look, but of course also more about protein, because it used to kind of live in like a blog as well. Redoing that whole thing. Of course, there's my ebook, which I wrote back in 2021. Still very solid, just very informative more than like the actual behavior change. And then we just added our updated TDEE calculator to where you can do this right now. You can go to my website, go to resources, click TDEE calculator, put in your data, and you'll get your maintenance calories and your start fat loss calories and your start muscle building calories. Doesn't break down macros and stuff. I can help you with that, and we'll do one on like an episode on that, like figuring out your macros. It's very basic, but that's a good way to start too, to kind of catch, hey, am I under eating? Where am I at, right? Because if you're on 1,200 calories and I tell you, hey, you should probably start your fat loss phase at 1,600 or 1,800 even, you might even be too low, and that's going to work against you, okay? But back to the reworked method and the framework and how I guide my clients through their journey, the Odyssey, okay? The Odyssey is still going to be your journey. It's the path of self-discovery, working through those setbacks, reaching your goals through consistent effort and full ownership of your health, okay? And I want you to come out to the other side here fully in control of your habits, your lifestyle, your body, for good, right? That's my end goal. I joke about this with people all the time. I'm saying like, hey, when they get on that first call with me, right? Which, by the way, remember, we have free discovery calls. You can also book one on my website. But I literally tell people like, hey, I kind of want to make sure you don't need me anymore at some point. And that sounds funny, but it's true. Not a single client is going to be with me forever. So it's my job to heal them, to get them to a good spot, to work on their mindset, to really create that 2.0 version of yourself. But also really making sure you become resourceful. You become someone who's in charge and in control, and you know how to continue these things in the future, okay? So I'll give a quick rundown of the Restore method, okay? Obviously, each phase is going to look completely differently for people, and people come in with different issues. A lot of general fitness goals, but also gut issues, IBS and those kind of things, okay? I have a client with ulcerative colitis, inflammatory bowel disease, who actually put his autoimmune into remission. So he's fine now. He's eating all these foods. We reintroduced dairy. He's killing it. He's loving life. And he lost 10 kilos. And now we're in his fat loss goal. Okay. But that's just an example of, hey, like we worked through some of the underlying functional issues to then work on the outside goals. Okay. The inside needs to be in a good place before we address the outside. Another client of mine who has been diagnosed with Hashimoto's, or TPO-AB, was very high, right? So antibodies towards the thyroid, I believe it was like around a 150, and now it's like a 27. So she's officially below the range of where doctors would diagnose Hashimoto. So also she put her autoimmune into remission. Now, the thyroid is still compromised in her case, and it's scarred to where that's not going to heal. So she's going to need support for life when it comes to like T4 and T3 hormone replacement. But also there, she addressed the immune system. Now we can focus on the body composition, okay? So the restore method, the 2.0 version of the OCS process, right? So we start with the R of restore, reveal. We find the why, the root cause assessment. We look at labs, your history, dieting history is a big one, your lifestyle, but of course also map out exactly, okay, this is where you're at and this is where we're going. And these are the things that need to be addressed to get you there, okay? A lot here is addressing lifestyle. A lot here is where is your body currently at? Can we actually fuel you up, right? Can we actually nourish the body for a while? That's our second phase, establish, okay? We rebuild the base, the foundation. If you listen to this and you're familiar with the OCS process, that's what we were doing in the beginning already. It's always been at the forefront of what we do in the first couple of weeks and months of my client's journey, of their odyssey, okay? We look at proper fueling. We look at sleep and rest and daily habits, okay? And everything else that you might be struggling with. Everything else that's the foundation upon which you build your long-term journey, your transformation, right? Becoming that next better version of yourself, mentally, physically. And of course, we do this with your long-term health, you know, as the main priority. It needs to be said, right? Yeah, we got muscle and fat loss goals, but, you know, health, that's really at the forefront of everything that we do. So we got to fix sleep. We got to get your nervous system in a good spot, okay? We got to build the habits, properly fuel, properly nourish the body so that you actually, for once, just kind of feel good. Okay, which plays into solve, right? We optimize the systems underneath that goes for nervous system, gut, liver, thyroid, hormones, mitochondria, inflammation. We address all of that, right? Internal health, once again, before external health, or external results, really, because I think external health is a little bit of a, you know what I mean? The internal needs to be fixed and addressed. Then we can look at external, meaning fat loss, muscle, etc., which is our transform phase. So far we've gone through the R, E, S, and T, T being transform. Better insulin sensitivity, better body composition, right? We work on fat loss. We, of course, reverse diet out of that. We never diet forever. We make sure that, hey, yeah, we work on fat loss, but we also keep it up long term. We gradually bring calories back up. And this is such a cool period for people because once they've lost, you know, often 10% in weight plus measurements, it's time to eat more. And that's a scary part for a lot of clients, but also there, like that is where you will set yourself apart from the people who fill their diets every single year, which is literally more than 95% of people worldwide, you know, not my clients though. We actually coach you through this and we actually see success. And like, I'm biased, but like, I know that if you follow my process, you're going to maintain your results. It just includes being uncomfortable a little bit and going through the scary eating more part. But I'm right there with you. So there's actually nothing to worry about. It's literally my job to get you results and maintain results. You know what I mean? Now, after transform, we get into the O of the restore method. Okay? Own. You take control. And of course, with me alongside of you, but real life flexibility and peace around food. Like this is the lifestyle piece. Okay? I want you to fully own your lifestyle, your results, your habits, and maintain what you've learned. And I tell my clients too, look, you're not here to just go through a fat loss phase and call it a day. Like, no, like I'm going to hold you accountable here. Like I'm going to make sure you're resourceful. And especially if we've worked through functional things like the IBD client I've had, then obviously, right, there's a lot of more gut health focus for specific meal plans and foods they have to avoid because they can't tolerate them. Okay. But after that, we get more into the lifestyle. I'm like, hey, I want you to be resourceful here. Let me show you how to, okay? So I'm always going to be along your side. Then we get into rebuild, okay? A lot of people come in with a fat loss goal, right? A lot of people come in thinking, I want to lose weight. And that's a big part of the journey for many people. But still, muscle, often overlooked, right? So once you're lean, and we might even do, you know, multiple fat loss phases for you to get there. I had a client lose, I think it was 85 pounds, right? Which is, you know, about 40 kilos. That took us about 2 years, needs to be said. It takes a long time to lose that amount of weight in a sustainable, healthy way. a lot of reverse diets and maintenance phases in between. Okay. But she literally lost like 85 pounds, which is crazy. But, or even more, I think. I got to double check. I'll double check on our website. You should be able to find it as well. But a lot of weight. Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, she said 85 pounds during a call when we were like halfway. I think it was like 115 or something now, 50 kilos. But don't quote me on that. I'll double check the numbers. There's a lot of numbers in my head. But the most important thing is, like, once you've gone through fat loss and the keeping it off part, even if that's multiple fat loss rounds and we own that lifestyle, we're going to rebuild. That's the R in the Restore method. We build strength, we build muscle, we build metabolic capacity, your metabolism, your health, your longevity. Like, we want muscle, okay? You want to be lifting weights to build strong bones, to build lean tissue, right? Muscle is very metabolically active too, so it's very important to have it, okay? Very key. When people talk about, getting older and their metabolism slowing down, it's really just lifestyle and muscle, honestly. And then we get to the E, okay? And body. Now it's just who you are. You don't relapse anymore. You don't need a coach anymore. You're set for life. You kind of don't need tracking. Now, we're big on tracking macros with clients. It's the best tool. But once you've gone through these stages, like, again, similar to my gut case, we get into the lifestyle part. And that is where you're going to be just owning the whole thing. This is now who you are. And that's my end goal for you. I want you to really become that person. And my people become that person by doing the hard work. Because that needs to be said. You will only achieve it if you follow the steps. You will only achieve it if you're willing to get uncomfortable. You're only going to achieve it if you are willing to share the issues and the struggles you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis with me as your coach, and you communicate and you really work through it. You don't just say, it was a bad week, I'm going to skip my check-in, and, there's no data from tracking to report. So, no, we're going to address the hard weeks. And if we do so, you're going to fucking win. All right. Now, obviously, throughout these, different phases of the Restore method, we address nutrition, movement, sleep and circadian rhythm, stress management, connection and support, mindset and self-development. Those are the pillars, okay? Really the daily practices. And these are, or at least 5 out of them, are based on evidence-based pillars from lifestyle medicine, okay? Used clinically to reverse and prevent chronic disease. And a 6th one, which sets us apart from other coaching companies, is the mindset piece. Because that is the work that unlocks the other 5. Most people skip this. Most coaching programs skip this. So yes, we're going to look at the evidence-based pillars of lifestyle medicine, but I'm going to help you with the mindset and behavior change to actually make it happen. Because a lot of coaches will tell you what to do. Very few programs actually help you work on the applying, or the application, which is really what will set you apart. Okay? That's it for today. I wanted to keep it brief. I want to introduce you to our new method, our updated method, because it's really building upon what we've already been doing, just a little bit more detailed, because I need to have a clear roadmap for my clients, and this is how we do it. So if you want to learn more about coaching, link is going to be in the show notes. Check out our new website, check out the free resources, and of course, as always, feel free to drop a quick rating on Spotify or Apple, if you don't mind, to help the show. And last but not least, as I always say, my DMs are always open. Just a message away. I'm not here to just sell you stuff. If you have just questions, whatever it is, suggestions for the podcast, let me know and we'll chat. All right.